So, good evening, everyone. And on behalf of the Order of Australia Eastern Suburbs Regional Group, really warm welcome to you, Rob. Thanks for being here and sharing some of your background and some of the work that you've been doing. The speakers that we get on these sessions have invariably got an interesting story to tell based on many years of experience. So, without further ado, Rob, I'll hand over to you and we look forward to hearing from you.
Hey, thank you very much. I guess just a bit of a background for me, 48 years member of VicPol, retired in 2022. I joined at 10, so that was a very young recruiting age. But yeah, 48 years in Victoria Police, look, a fantastic occupation, very honourable occupation. It's just a wonderful occupation. I've met some wonderful, wonderful people in my time. I finished up as the Regional Emergency Management Inspector at Knox. I spent the last 5 years of my career there. That involved working with all the emergency services in the area around Yarra Ranges, Knox and Maroondah, making sure that all the emergency management arrangements were in place coming into fire seasons or windstorm events and the flood type scenarios that we have around the spring. So it was a really, really good job, and I met some wonderful, wonderful people externally to Victoria Police and the other emergency services. And so just a bit of a plug for Victoria Police, just a wonderful, wonderful job. Okay, without further ado, I'll talk about Police Legacy. I've volunteered with Police Legacy for a number of years, taking photos at their events, some of the hikes, some of the gatherings, some of the lunches and things like that that they put on for our legatees. So I did that for a number of years, and when I was retiring, I got invited by the CEO to come on board as the community engagement coordinator, which was a 2-day-a-week job, and can't really call it a job. It was a 2-day-a-week enjoyment at Legacy, helping out with making presentations to Victoria Police members and other community groups and so on, and talking about Legacy, about what we do. And I'll leave the slide with you. I'm just going to show you some photos of some of our events that we've had of recent times. And the top one there is a trip that we went across to Hobart. We spent 4 days over in Tasmania with a large group. There was some 80 legatees that came on board with us, and that was a logistical experience and just a highlight for our legatees. When I talk about legatees, we talk about people who have lost a loved one that was employed within Victoria Police. We look after the wives, husbands, family, kids, and so on of police family members that have lost a loved one. And it doesn't mean that they are feloniously slain. It means that anyone that is passes, and we look after the families. So the top one there is a recent trip to Hobart. The bottom one there is another getaway to down to Queenscliff. We have these regular events every year, and just really good fun. And for a lot of our legatees, it's a highlight of their year, and it's the only way that they actually keep in contact with the police family, and it's in a lot of ways this is their highlight of the year for a social getaway. We do find that some of our legatees are quite isolated socially and so on, and Legacy is able to fill that gap for them. Here we have a family retreat to Echuca in April last year, the top left there, and then we had a kids camp in Queenscliff. And the Air Wing, Police Air Wing, were kind enough to drop in and say good day to our younger legatees and take them for some flights across the bay, which was just outstanding. Really good fun. This is a regional lunch that we put on regional lunches probably once a month. This one was down at Bairnsdale, and we had the management of the region down there come on board with us and spend some time with our legatees that live down that way, down in the far east of the state. And one of our hikes that we enjoy, we have hikes probably once a quarter. we've got a hike this Saturday morning to Listerfield Lake Park. And yeah, we have normally a group of about 15 that come along on these hikes. And as I say, for a lot of our legatees, these are the big social events that they have planned for them. How Legacy first started, some of you may recall we lost a detective, Robert Lane, up at Swan Hill. This is in February 1980. He was killed by a car thief. He arrested a car thief and took him back to his caravan to retrieve some other stolen gear in his property. And unfortunately, the offender obtained a firearm within his premises and shot Robert and killed him, and then escaped with the police car and so on. And there was a major police hunt at the time. I do remember it. I was only in the job, about 6 years at this particular point. And I do remember quite a significant police operation to locate the offender. So yeah, he was shot by the offender, and massive police hunt. But the upshot of that was that the local community in Swan Hill and community groups and so on in that regional setting got together and raised over $100,000 for Robert's family. If you think back to 1980, $100,000 was really a lot of money back then. Probably, I don't know, in today's terms, probably, around $1 million, I would suggest. And that money was donated to to Robert's family so that they could look after themselves into the future. And through that generosity, it was just absolutely amazing. And it really struck the Chief Commissioner at the time, Mick Miller. A lot of us would remember Mick Miller. Historically, I think probably one of the best Chief Commissioners that Victoria has had, and not being discrediting any of our other police commissioners, but Mick Miller was just a real stalwart for improvements to Victoria Police at the time. He got together with two inspectors, and I'll put up a slide in a moment with their details. But what they did was they were so moved by this community spirit that they thought, why don't we create a legacy for all our police families that have lost a loved one? There was at the time there was a legacy in the Queensland jurisdiction, so Queensland Police had a legacy. And they approached Mick Miller and said, we need to model something similar in Victoria. And Mick Miller decided that, yes, we'll do that, but it's got to be self-funded, and we'll draw funds from police members themselves by way of a contribution. And I think at the time, I recall, it was about $1 that each member was asked to contribute out of their pay. $1 was really, really not much at all. But Mick Miller decreed that if anyone didn't contribute $1, they had to put a report into him as to why they didn't. Needless to say, there was never any reports submitted to Mick Miller as to why they didn't. So everyone came on board. So now, as over 46 years, we've provided support to Victoria Police family, and there are police legacies in all states, Northern Territory and Australian Federal Police. And these are the two gents, Brian Kelly and Peter Ryan, that got together with Mick Miller and said, listen, we need to produce a Victoria Police legacy, and as I say, use the Queensland model as our basis to provide support to police families. And we're totally indebted to these people. Brian Kelly on the left there, he was instrumental in actually putting together the police co-op. You may have heard of the police co-op way back in the 80s, and which is now called Bank Vic. So it was a banking institution for our police members, and now, of course, Bank Vic is a major banking institution for emergency services. So Brian was a really real pioneer in so many ways for us. So we provide support and services to families of deceased, serving or retired sworn members, PSOs and recruits in training. Parents of serving members where the member was not in a relationship at the time of the death. So if we think back to the unfortunate collision where we had a fatality in Mildura with a policewoman, she lost her life up there. She was not in a relationship with anyone at the time, so her parents are now legatees, and we're looking after them making sure that they still feel part of the police family. So serving sworn and retired members of Victoria Police who have lost a spouse or partner, and being a police legatee remains for life. So myself, as a serving police member, if I was to lose my life, naturally enough, my wife, Kathy, would be a legatee. But similarly now, if I lost my wife, I would become a legatee. Even though now I'm retired, I would become a legatee and become part of the police legacy family, which is terrific support that I could derive. The legacy has full-time and part-time staff. We have a chief executive officer, we have an operations manager, and a whole wide range of officers within the police legacy team. And we have a VPL board which consists of a representative of the Chief Commissioner and a representative of the Police Association and 2 independent directors who are non-police appointed to the board. And they meet quite regularly, the board, and work through what may be our standard operating procedures and policies and so on. And we have a number of field officers, just looking there at Eileen Keeley and Jenny Thorne. They look after various legatees across the state. I know Eileen, she travels right up to Wangaratta and Mildura and all up that part of the world, and goes and visits our legatees that particularly can't get around much. She'll go and visit them up there, and Jenny Thorne looks after our people down here in the metropolitan area. Andrea there, she looks after our youth legatees, and she's just absolutely fantastic. I remember sitting in the office there and just listening to these guys across the petition, talking to legatees over the phone, and they're just as sprightly at the end of the day as when they first come in the door first thing in the morning. And I just remember so much about our legatees, and just make them feel so much a part of the police family. At the moment, we're supporting a total of over 1,500 police legatees. That's 1,268 adult legatees, 164 dependents, and 75 friends of police legacy, and they're the people that have parents of police who have died where the child was not in a relationship at the time. So we call them friends of police legacy. Just a snapshot there of another regional lunch down at Warrnambool, where we had the local management come along and share their time with the legatees from down that way. We are a registered charitable organisation, so we rely on the funds from our employees, that's Victoria Police members, where they have a nominal contribution of 0.15% of their salary, which works out to about $2 or $3, I think, in this day and age, where that comes straight out of their pay and comes straight to legacy. But we do heavily rely on other sponsors, that including the Police Association, Bank Vic, and we have a number of other charities, including the Wall-to-Wall Ride for Remembrance. You might recall, or on the news, that you see a motorcycle ride from Melbourne through to Canberra. They raise funds for us every year on that event. And then there's the Ride to the Wall, which is the Victoria Police Cycling Club. They raise funds for us, where they'll ride from a certain location and then ride into the Police Memorial on St Kilda Road. And there's a Run for Blue, and of course we rely on public donations and bequests. And as I say, recruit sworn staff and PSO employees proudly support Victoria Police Legacy through payroll deductions. I mentioned 0.15%, which is about $1.71 per week, which is not too bad. The constable contribution of about $2.35 per week. This is our annual Christmas luncheon. Here we have about 500 legatees come in from all various areas across the state, come to the MCG, which is an iconic location for them. And for a lot of people, again, this is one of the big highlights for them in the year, where we have the Chief Commissioner as our patron, come along and address the group, and we have other guests, other political leaders and so on that come along and address our legatees. for our new Chief Commissioner, Mike Green. He came and addressed the group last year, and a lot of our legatees approached him and just wanted to cuddle with our new chief. He's a strapping man. Those of you who've seen him on the telly and so on, he's quite a lovely guy. I've met him a few times through my role, and just a really approachable fellow. And he was certainly a treat at this particular function. I'd also recall one of our deputy commissioners who was retiring this year was reading out the raffle ticket prizes and said that, well, here's a flight for two in a helicopter with the chief commissioner, which was not this case, but just a bit of a joke. And Mike was quite funny with that. Yeah. This is our annual kids Christmas function. This was at Luna Park in December last year, and again, a lot of friendships, a lot of partnerships have been developed out of our younger legatees. We've had some weddings of recent times where some of these kids have grown up together and become partners and got married. We've got some young children that have been born through relationships that have developed through legacy, which is just a wonderful story in itself. If you remember, this is Val and Dana Lane that we still look after Robert's death in 1980, and this is where Robert was awarded the National Police Service Medal on the 40th anniversary of the birth of police legacy. And this was Graham Ashton handing out the award to Val and Dana on that occasion. And you remember Angela Taylor, of course, where she unfortunately lost her life with the Russell Street bombing. We still look after Marilyn and Arthur Taylor. Angela wasn't in a relationship at the time of her death, so we're looking after Marilyn and Arthur since then. We still get them to come along to functions. We have the Angela Taylor Fun Run every year, and they come along and really enjoy the interaction with police members as a result of that. So there's the logo, symbolic person holding a candle in remembrance. So that's the PowerPoint presentation. Jeffrey, should I still show the video, if I could?
Yes, by all means, Rob.
This is a video that I'm going to show you that was put together late last year, that we show the recruits when we basically day two of the recruit training. We come along and we talk to them about legacy and invite them to contribute to legacy. And this is a video that we show them just to show them what we're about and what it means to become a contributor.
Need help themselves. When a member of the police family dies, whether on the job or off, Victoria Police Legacy is there for those left behind.
So my dad passed when I was 3, so I was very young.
A couple of weeks off my 15th birthday, my father tragically, in very gruesome and graphic circumstances, passed away. My wife was the one who passed away. I'd been in the job probably about close to 20 years, I suppose, by that stage.
It was my dad who passed, and he died when I was 8.
Frank was a very kind person. He would help anybody at any time. Frank,
I didn't think would necessarily apply to me. I always thought to put police legacy out in the first place, thinking that if anything happens to me, my wife and kids, I've got someone to look out after them. Not thinking that it'd be totally the other way around. When
you have a loss that is so close to your heart, it can feel like the end of the world.
I wasn't sure what would happen. I wasn't sure where I would go with the direction of my emotions, with my mentality or my heart. I was lost. And that was when police legacy came to my family, spoke to my mum, my sister, myself.
I don't really remember how they kind of got involved. One of the first events I remember going to, It was a Christmas party. I was nervous, but everyone was welcoming.
When at Frank's send off, two people from Police Legacy came to his party. They said to me, if you're feeling down, ring Police Legacy and they will be willing to talk to you.
It's kind of just been me and my mum for quite a while. So Legacy's kind of been like a family to me.
Police Legacy gave us the time and the energy of all waves of mental, emotional, and physical support. They gave us away trips, they gave us camps, they gave us something that really took our mind off the worst instance in our entire livelihood, and they turned it into a positive.
Financially, they've always helped Mum and I out with school fees and stuff, and like driving lessons have been really helpful, especially almost being 18 and getting my license.
Police Legacy paid my electricity bill for me, which was a great help.
I've got a very deep hole in my life, having no father, unfortunately, no role model that gave me direction, and Police Legacy gave me exactly that. They didn't give me a father per se, but they gave me friendship, and they gave me mentorship, and they gave me the ability to give direction. And for me, I'm ever grateful for Police Legacy, and that's given me life-lasting friends that I still catch up regularly with.
It costs less than a cup of coffee per fortnight to support Police Legacy. That small amount changes lives. It's support, it's connection, it's knowing the police family is always there, no matter what.
Yeah, Legacy's kind of, again, it's more like a family for me.
Without Police Legacy, I think I probably would have felt a lot lonelier.
They just make you feel so part of the police family still. I feel I can talk about Frank at any time to them.
I don't think I would be half as happy or half as whole without them. And I think that the loss would have been a lot harder to deal with without Police Legacy.
It's all the small things in the background that creates that foundational work for someone to come forward and be as best as they can be, despite the tragedy.
At Victoria Police Legacy, we exist for one reason: to ensure that when a member of this police family is lost, their loved ones are never left behind. We support the children, partners, and families of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. But we can't do that without you. Your support, a small fortnightly contribution, helps us give police legatees the chance to finish school, to build a future, stay connected, and remain part of this blue family. Join us, support us, help us carry the legacy forward, because when one of us falls, all of us should stand up. Thank you.
As you begin your policing career, you have the chance to stand with the people who have worn this uniform before you, to honour those we've lost, to look after the families they've left behind, to be part of something bigger than yourself. When we say Police Legacy is with you every day, we mean it. We join Victoria Police to serve and protect. This is another meaningful way to uphold that commitment. A modest fortnightly contribution to Victoria Police Legacy enables us to support the families of colleagues who have made the ultimate sacrifice or who are facing life's most difficult challenges. While the deduction from your pay may be small, the impact on those we assist is profound. It is our sincere hope that you and your loved ones will never require our support. But should that time come, Victoria Police Legacy will be here, steadfast and ready to help.
Oh, thank you, Rob. I'm glad you showed that, because that sort of added an extra dimension to the picture as well. So, Rob, are you happy to take some comments or questions from people?
Wonderful presentation. Thank you, Robert. Do you have trained psychologists or people like that that also can help, especially with the children after a loss like that?
That's a good question. We don't have psychologists on staff, but we do have connections with welfare groups that we draw on from time to time. With our youth, we've just recently utilised equine therapy with some of our kids.
Oh, great!
Brilliantly. We've been able to tap in through our mounted branch, which Victoria Police Mounted Branch. When I say we, we're not a department of Victoria Police, but we're associated strongly, obviously. Through the mounted branch, we're able to tap into some equine therapy for some of our younger people.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
We do have staff support programs as well. So obviously, you can imagine that vicariously some of our staff would suffer emotionally as well. So we do have support for them, and through that network, we're able to tap into a number of groups that can help some of our legatees. I suppose a bit of a plug for Legacy here. Just a wonderful, wonderful organisation, as you can see, just really, really privileged to have been able to work with them, and still am involved as a volunteer, helping out on that hike on Saturday morning at Listerfield Lake Park. I live in Belgrave, so it's only 20 minutes away from me, so that's going to work out well.
Thanks. Dinah, go for it.
Oh, again, I just want to reiterate, it was a great presentation, Robert, so thank you. My question was really very similar to Glennis's, but I guess with the older legatees, there would probably be fairly high rates of depression and loneliness and so forth. So presumably the staff are trained to respond to that as well and to make appropriate referrals.
Absolutely, they are. And just in relation to our older cohort, we've been able to reach out to a lot of our regional police to pay visits to our elderly that are in homes. Now, the police members in the country setting are really, really happy to go and drop in during their shift and drop in on some of their people that they've developed some friendships with as well, which is just a lovely, lovely little gesture on their behalf. They get to know who their people are within their areas and drop in and say good day. At Christmas time, we have a Christmas hamper drop where we ask a lot of the police members to drop in. We have an ambassador workshop, so we've got a series of volunteers. We also have Police Legacy ambassadors, which are spread across the state, and we ask them to drop in Christmas hampers to a lot of our people, especially the older ones that can't get into town or whatever, or can't make the Christmas turn. We ask them to drop by and drop in Christmas hampers and that sort of thing for them. And for a lot of our older legatees, they just love the police uniform dropping in and sit down, have a cup of tea, and talk about their life. For a lot of our legatees in the regional setting, they've come from police families, or they've come from a family where perhaps their husband was in charge of the local police station. I'm thinking of a lot of the one-man police stations where the wife was very much a part of that police team, if you like, where a lot of the wives were preparing meals and that sort of thing for prisoners that were in the lockup, or helping the husbands run the police station. So they're always keen to talk about their husband's career. And for a lot of our country police members, they will know the member that's passed on as well. So it's just a really good connection.
But is there a structured way in which serving members get involved with Legacy, or is it more sort of on a voluntary basis?
Well, yeah, we have a voluntary network, but also through our ambassadors, who are predominantly assistant commissioners or commissioned officers spread across the state, that are able to influence, if you like, the members under their command to say, look, support legacy in some way, shape or form, particularly with those regional lunches and other activities that we might have, like the Christmas functions or the other get-togethers around that time. They'll encourage police members to drop by and have lunch with their legatees and so on.
Thank you. So you're mentioning volunteers, and I saw you have a volunteer program. That is with the police force volunteers. You don't have volunteers outside of that help?
We do. We're encouraging other people to come on board with us. We've got a new volunteer coordinator, Louise Forty, who is inviting volunteers outside of Victoria Police. Obviously, it's advantageous to have a police connection in some way, shape, or form. But we're certainly encouraging other people to come on board.
Well, Rob, thank you very much for the time and the presentation. You've already heard some feedback, and I'd certainly add my feedback that hearing about this work is quite remarkable. And so on behalf of the association, thank you very much.